delivers to the expectation of what we are promising today. So that's the whole idea behind the destination management of our walkers tours, which is also part of John Keel's. Just to sort of give you a little bit of idea and a background of why we sort of got ourselves into this. Of course, we did a lot of research just before all the rest of or what we see, especially in the Middle East, all what was happening now. We started talking about it much before all what is happening now. So this discussion sort of took place, I would say, a couple of months ago. But still, we are quite confident that even with what is happening out there, this initiative has to go, and we are very confident that it will only be a success. So a little bit of statistics from my end. I'm sure that you all know it, but it was a bit of, I would say, very important when we were getting into the decision, the numbers. So Gujarat as a state, as you all know, it's about a 75 million sort of a population is what we see as per the numbers published. And Ahmedabad itself is about a 9 million. So when you look at it, Sri Lanka is 22 million. So Ahmedabad itself is about 40% of the Sri Lankan entire population. Right? And when you look at the airport, or Ahmedabad, the main airport, the airport itself operates about 14 million in and out arrivals yearly. So 14 million, and if I just tell you the numbers that we see, of course there is no way a report that we can generate this number accurately, because there always is a wire connection to Colombo. But our statistics show it's a maximum of about 20,000 to 25,000 passengers a year. So it's a 9 million or rather 14 million going up and down through Ahmedabad, 9 million population in Ahmedabad, and we are only getting 20 to 25,000 passengers a year. So it's not even 4% when you look at it from a percentage point of view. So what you see today, this initiative, we believe that definitely this 4% should double or even triple or even could be more. And it will open up a different segment. It will open up, as Kamal also explained, we control inventory in Colombo, and we also have the strategic locations through our resort network. We also have all the locations covered. So if you are looking at pretty much a round tour, or if you are looking at a MICE operation, or if it is just a 2-day sort of a quick getaway, we sort of have everything sort of curated for you. So that's a beauty. It's a one-stop shop, if I put it that way. So just a little bit of a technicality of how the model is going to operate. Our FitsAir, our aviation provider, our partner, team is also here. Najas should be somewhere there. Yes, he's there. So they will be supporting us through their GSA to sell the packages and the tickets in India. So we are getting it closer to our partners in the industry to approach them, because they will have presence in India. We will have a dedicated team in Colombo who will ensure that all your queries, all your questions are answered on time. Because we do understand that for the Indian market, time is of essence, and we need to be proactive. So we have dedicated a team, and that team is also here today. So we can maybe discuss a little more after the speeches. So they are there to ensure that all the questions are answered. So it's overall, we want the experience to be seamless. We want the experience to be, I would say, even though that there are so many parties into it, we just want to have one team to take care of all the queries and the bookings to go through our systems, which also has been designed and already tested in a seamless manner. And we believe that the initiative that we are opening up, or the market that we are opening up, is the beginning of something big to happen, because we believe that when numbers start growing, this 20,000 that I was talking about, it's going to be, I would say, I can't imagine what the number is going to be next year when we discuss and when we look back on this today's kickoff. And at the same time, we believe that the property itself, COD, it's an integrated property. and it's meant to be for the Indian market. I think there was a video which also showed a glimpse of what it is, and it's a one of a kind in South Asia, and it's meant to be. So with the kind of mice movements that we see, and now that also the connectivity is going to be better, 3 hours. I spent almost 12 hours to get here yesterday. I'm sure all of us, I think, spent about more than 9 to 10 hours. And the bags to carry, to move from one place to the other, it's not a seamless connection, because we have to first get off from maybe Delhi or Mumbai, get the bags, then go through immigration and all that again, go through this. So it's a bit of hassle, but all these things will be sorted out. So very excited. The flight times are going to be Monday, Wednesday and Friday. So as of now, the schedules are going to be out. So we will have Monday leaving at 2:35 in the morning and reaching, 3:40 in the morning and reaching Colombo at 6:50. Then on Wednesday, we will have the flight at 3:40, leaving from Ahmedabad in the morning, again landing Colombo at 6:50. And on Friday, we will have a 9:40 flight, leaving from Ahmedabad and landing in Colombo at 10:45 in the morning. So these are the 3 flight times. Of course, we can go into detail when we discuss at the panel discussion. So again, thank you very much for coming by. It's a very exciting journey for us and lovely to be here. And India has always been one of our key source markets. 531,000 Indians came last year in the calendar year, and we believe that 531,000 will improve, and with this initiative definitely will improve to a much bigger number. Thank you very much, and we will have at the panel discussion we can take any questions that you have. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I request you to stay back on the stage, please, sir. So yes, now we have a moment for which we were waiting for it. Package reveal हम करने वाले हैं थोड़ी देर में. But to reveal the package, I also want to invite on stage Mr. Nayana Mavilmada and Mr. Karan Mulasanga. Please come on the stage and join us for this ceremony. Can we have a huge round of applause for them, everyone? थोड़ी सी तालियां होनी चाहिए, please. So we now come to a key moment of the evening, unveiling of specially curated travel experience by Cinnamon Life. These are not just the packages, but thoughtfully designed journeys that brings together luxury, culture and seamless travel. May I request to our representative to reveal the packages. Can we have packages on the screen, please? So here we have this wonderful packages. I request all our dignitaries, please take your seat on the stage. And now we are opening the floor for the Q&A session. I request to all our media friends, आपको जो भी सवाल पूछने हो वो आप हमारे dignitaries से पूछ सकते हो. First you introduce yourself, you can raise a hand and then you can ask your question. We are opening the floor for Q&A session. So just wait for a moment. We are passing the mic. Thank you.
When will you open the bookings and will there be any launch offer?
When will we open the bookings? We are effectively open now from today. May 15th is when the first flight will be. And as you said, as we showed, this is the introductory pricing that is out in the market. Yes.
Anyone else? Yes, here we have.
Chetan Singh Chauhan from News Lady. Congratulations for having the direct flight from Ahmedabad to Sri Lanka. Now my question is, we have other neighbors also, Bhutan and Nepal. When you are going to have that no passport requirement policy, talking to both the governments and starting implementing that? Because we require passport to visit Sri Lanka.
If I may take it, at the moment, the visa fee is waived off, so, and that will continue as what we are hearing. So, because the market has grown, but no passport, yeah, I think there are a lot of things that it's in the process of getting there. But as of now, what we could expect is the free visa waiver to continue. But of course, in the future, there will always be new things which will get added on. Yes.
Can I just add to that? I think passport free, I'm not sure. But again, Sri Lanka is a very seamless, easy travel destination for the Indian traveler. Partly because, of course, two very friendly governments. So really, Indian travelers don't face much friction. Culturally, we are very close, which I think is also usually very attractive for our Indian guests. And also payment platforms like UPI are widely accepted in Sri Lanka in all of our hotels as well. So that is also very, very seamless.
So, very good morning. Looking to the geopolitical situation, and you are also correct that Gujarati is one of the society where they love to travel across the world. So they generally used to prefer to visit European nation or Northeast or in South Kerala. So between Kerala and Sri Lanka, so what kind of differences or special wow feeling would get in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so yes, you're right. From a geographical point of view, it's very close. But if you're been to Sri Lanka, I think you'll agree that Sri Lanka has more to offer, because Sri Lanka is a dot in the ocean, but it has the mountains, it has the beaches, it has pretty much the city life, everything to it. It's a bundle offer. So I don't think that it's the same experience one would get at Kerala to the experience that Sri Lanka can offer. But at the same time, there are a lot of similarities, even the food, the appam that is coming from Kerala. So, we feel it is our own, but having said that, it also has come from. So that you're right. At the same time, it's an offering which covers beach, culture, city life, the hills, the wildlife. I mean, you can see the leopards if you go to down south, Yala, 95% of the time you see a leopard, because we have the highest density of leopards in Yala. And if you go to the dolphin watching, to whale watching, you can, within about 3 hours to 4 hours, you're definitely going to see a dolphin or a whale. So there are a lot of things that I would say that Sri Lanka can offer, and we believe that the offering itself will be the differentiator of Kerala and Sri Lanka.
I think, if I could add to that, I think it's perhaps the diversity of offer in a very small package. So I think it's unique actually as a destination in the world, with so many diverse activities concentrated in a very, very small geographical distance, which as Kamal mentioned, 2-3 hours by car, but we have our own domestic airline, so really 30-40 minutes you can get there as well. So it's really the diversity of offering, which we feel is really unparalleled. And if you look around the world, you're seeing Sri Lanka really coming out, and people discovering this destination for the amazing place that it is. Yes, we hope that Gujaratis
one more thing to add, I think that the cultural diversity also, what we have in Sri Lanka within that island, that plays a huge role in really defining the tourism experience in Sri Lanka. It's different parts of Sri Lanka. When you go, even if you go to Colombo, you can really feel the 4 different cultures and their rituals, their ways of living, their ways of the culinary experiences. All that can be experienced within a very short period of time when you come to Sri Lanka. So that's the unique offering. And of course, this is coupled up with authentic, warm Sri Lankan hospitality. So that's, I think, is the differentiator for Sri Lanka, and that's what we promise to deliver.
Yeah, hi, sir. My question is for Mr. Nalaka. Do you have visa on arrival? First question, and for the tourist. And second is, you said you gave some numbers, but I couldn't hear it. You said that around 25,000 Gujaratis are arriving in Sri Lanka as a tourist every year. So can you just explain, what is your future target and what are the key aspects of attracting Gujaratis in Sri Lanka?
Sure. Can I see who? Because of the light, I can't really see. Oh, right, okay, sorry. So, yes, you have visa on arrival. You can apply it on the ETA system, which is one of the fastest systems in the world, which you will most probably get it within about, let's say, 2-3 hours, even though they say it's within 48 hours. But even if you don't have it, you can come and you can apply it on arrival. Also, you can get it at the airport, so that option is also available, and both options are available. And secondly, yes, the statistics show it's about 20 to 25,000 Gujaratis who come to Sri Lanka because of the connectivity is not as big as maybe the other markets which are connected widely. And if you look at, just to sort of give you a little bit of an understanding, the current context, we are more connected on the south of India is more connected to Sri Lanka. Apart from maybe Delhi, Mumbai, the rest of it is mostly on the south. So what we are doing is we are sort of now connecting the West in a big way. Predicting the number is something a little tricky, but of course we believe it will be quite big.
I think it's going to be exponential. Our expectation is, I think Gujarat will discover Sri Lanka as one of the most spectacular escapes within 3 hours distance. I think it has everything to offer for a diversity of people. So the 25,000, my prediction is, I can't put these numbers on charts because the chart will look ridiculous, but I would say we will grow up easily 3, 4, 5-fold in the next couple of years, easily. And I think it's going to end up becoming one of the major source markets for Sri Lanka. That's our expectation.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm Neha from Ahmedabad and Colombo. I have 2 questions. First, you gave the package with the flights, cinnamon hotels and walker tours. So is this flight available with this package only, or if someone wants to take the flight independently and go elsewhere to some other hotels or resorts? Secondly, in this political situation amidst the war crisis, how do you see this year as growing tourism? Because I think launching something new in the midst of when political situation and tourism has just died down, especially these Asian countries also because of crude problems. How do you look at it?
I'll take the first one, I'll take the second one.
Yeah, so the first one is that if you are trying to sort of put in a package, as of now, it's a package that we have put together with Cinnamon Hotels and with the airline partner and Walkers Tours, because it's a more of a packaged offering that we have. We are open to discuss about any changes within the Cinnamon network of hotels. Of course, we are open because it's all on offer. As of now, the packages will focus on about 4 to 5 properties. But having said that, if there is a requirement, we can always extend because we have 40 properties in Sri Lanka. But as of now, we are not looking at opening it out to other hotels because, as I said before, our connectivity with all the strategic locations, we do have our hotels connecting it very well. So we really don't see why we should. But having said that, there are always opportunities for the airlines to come on board. And I'm sure with this opening there will be opportunities, and you will see more and more traction. With that, there will be opportunities for other hotels to work on or rather to come to the market as well.
There will be also some of the seats will be online through our airline partner where you can purchase airline tickets directly. But our expectation is these plays are going to be full of people that want to experience Sri Lanka through cinnamon. But of course, the tickets will be available on the online platforms of our partner as well. If I can address your second question on what's happening in the world and how we feel about it, we actually feel still very, very optimistic. There's a couple of reasons for that. First, we think there's so much pent-up demand and potential in the Gujarat market to come to Sri Lanka in general. As Naraka mentioned, you have, what was the number of flights going out? 14 million passengers going out, just getting really a small sliver going to Sri Lanka. But there's a bigger picture which we think is another reason why this makes sense even at this time. We have, I think the statistics suggest about 8 to 9 million Indian passengers go to the Middle East every year. And with the Middle East market kind of slowing down and the travel to the region becoming very difficult, the question is, well, of course the numbers from 8 million might drop down, but people will still want to travel. People will still want an escape. And the question is, what are the other destinations people can pursue? And we feel this is actually a very good time because Sri Lanka can present itself as really a very, very attractive alternative destination. So even in somewhat dark times for the world, we are extremely optimistic actually. And we feel, even if we get 5-10% of India's market going to the Middle East, coming to Sri Lanka, all of Sri Lanka will be full. So we are not really concerned about it. Of course, we are concerned about the situation around the world, but in terms of a market opportunity and the success of it, we are absolutely 100% committed and very, very confident of this opportunity.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
My name is Juliet Kalvi. I am from Bilkul Online. I have 3 questions. First is for the passengers, is there any tie with the government tourism sector of Sri Lanka? Second question is there any future plan for other cities of Gujarat as well, for Surat or Gandhinagar? And my third question is that I want to know how much Sri Lanka is dependent on the tourism sector. God forbid, but if Sri Lanka gets involved in this, in any war, so are you ready for the future challenges what Dubai is facing right now?
I think the first question, sorry, there were 3 questions. And the first question was is there any involvement with the government on this? This is actually, of course, we work very closely with government on all that we do, being the largest leisure operator in Sri Lanka. But this initiative is actually a purely private. That's why I said it's historic, because it's the first time, I think, as far as I know, ever that a private leisure operator has now pushed a regular scheduled airline and worked with the scheduled airline to open up new destination fundamentally. And FitsAir is also a fully private airline as well. So this is really very much a partnership that is private sector driven. Of course, Sri Lanka will absolutely support us. The government is very much behind us because the government sees the Indian market as an extremely important destination for Sri Lanka, for Indian travelers. Of course, Sri Lanka is, as you mentioned, quite heavily dependent on tourism as one of its primary forex earners. Again, I think there's of course global risk, but I think even in those dark situations, the way I look at it is this: we came out of a very terrible period in Sri Lanka. And people ask me, can you guys manage if there's a little bit less fuel? My answer is yes, if anybody can manage, we know how to do it, because we've done it before, right? So we've got systems where, like travel agents get their fuel properly without delay. There's a network established for this. So we are kind of geared to deal with this, because we're a country that has survived a lot of things. So we're actually very, very resilient and we're very, very adaptable as a country. So of course there will be impacts if this whole thing goes global. But again, as I said, India being so close, India being so culturally close as well, not only just proximity wise but culturally close as well, I feel that travel between our two countries will only keep growing, even if times are difficult. So we are quite optimistic.
And my second question.
Sorry, can you repeat the second question?
Any future plans for other cities of Gujarat?
Oh, yeah. Actually, we were talking before this event and said, look, if this flies and if this goes really well, which we are very sure it will, let's see. We are very bullish, and you know, I think as the largest corporate in Sri Lanka and as the largest leisure operator in Sri Lanka, in some ways we as a company feel it is our responsibility to take Sri Lanka to the world. You know, this $1.2 billion investment we did in City of Dreams was about presenting a new face of Sri Lanka to the world. It's the largest private investment in Sri Lanka's history. It's the greatest thing that's been built in our country since the time of kings. And that's the level of ambition, that's the level of courage we have in taking Sri Lanka to the world. So we are quite hopeful, very, very positive, optimistic that this Ahmedabad connection will really take off. We think other people will join the party, and yes, absolutely, we will start looking at other destinations.
If I just add into again with a bit of statistics, not to sort of bore the others, but if you look at the number of Indian tourists, as I said, 531,000 last year, calendar year, in a total of 2.36 million, which the total number of tourists into the country, or tourists or arrivals rather, put it that way. It's about 22.5% of the entire arrivals is India. So the government is predicting this number to go up to 3 million. Of course, with all what is happening there, the numbers might be adjusted. But if we hit 3 million, which is almost about another 30 to 40% more than what we are doing now, about another 25% more, the incremental value will come from India, because that is the fastest growing. So this particular 531,000 can end up with about 800,000. So the 800,000 increment of the delta, we believe that a new market opening will grab the maximum. So that's the growth what we foresee. Of course, it's still a lot of things happening in the world, which I'm sure that will settle, but we are quite bullish that the numbers from India will grow despite all what is happening, and the bigger chunk will come from new markets, because other markets have been in the system or in the market for a long time, other cities.
My question is to all three, Mr. Kamal, Mr. Nayana.
Can you pass the mic, please?
My question is to all three, Mr. Kamal, Mr. Narayana, Mr. Nayana. What is the current status of tourism in Sri Lanka's GDP, and how has tourism contributed to Sri Lanka economic recovery in recent years?
So yeah, the GDP, we will get back to that actually, but if you look at from a revenue point of view, the third highest revenue earner is tourism for Sri Lanka. The first being mostly the foreign, remittances, which comes from foreign workforce. Second being the para sector. Third being tourism. But of course, tourism is number two when it comes to the net, because the para sector also has some money going back to as purchasers. So tourism is taking. So our best year in 2018, we did about $6 billion of revenue from tourism. So the statistics currently show last year that we have done about 3.6 billion, where we see that there is a bit of a gap. So the country as a whole is looking at how to up and to get that sort of a better yielding sort of tourists coming in as well. So that's something, another strategy that tourist boards are looking at. But the dependency of tourism, as I said, is the second largest when you look at the net income. So we are quite dependent. And also we are so tiny, 65,810 square kilometers and 22 million population. We can't get into any manufacturing. We can't get into any industries where it's too small. So service is what Sri Lanka is going to build upon, and tourism, because of geographical, how we are situated and where we are situated and the country itself, we are in a very good position to sell a unique product. So definitely it's one of the bigger industries and more important ones for us.
And I think also one of the quickest to pivot, I mean, Kamal knows this, having run hotels in Sri Lanka, how quickly Sri Lanka is able to pivot and improve on tourism. Coming out of all these conflicts that we've had, tourism is really always the front runner because we've already made the investment, we've got the infrastructure on ground, we've got the talent, we've got kind of this general culture of warm hospitality in Sri Lanka, got great food, so all these ingredients make for a very quick pivot, and that's what we see.
Ayub Owen and Darshana Jamindar from Gujarat Headline. I'm here, yeah.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
So last year there was natural calamities and all, a big rain and everything was there. Hope it is being redeveloped and everything has gone nice now.
Yeah, actually, Kamal, you want to speak to that? Because during the natural calamity, how quickly we recovered.
Yeah, very important. I mean, in the month of December, beginning of December, we had the disaster, Ditwa happened in Sri Lanka, some of our hotels got affected as well. Yeah. That happened over a weekend on Saturday morning, and on Tuesday morning, to tell you that me and our CEO, Vishal, we took a ride all the way up to the mountains to Kandy and to few of our hotels, and we did not see any sign of big devastation. The hotels were back in operation 3 days later. 1 week later, we had all the hotels up and running. The tourism kept coming. The people who were there, they experienced that the recovery was very fast, as well as everything was handled very professionally, and the tourists who were there were very well taken care of, and given the care that they needed, and given the support that was required from the private sector, from the hotels, as well as from the governments. Now, in this current situation also, when the war broke out in the Middle East, we had lots of tourists. We had about 10,000 tourists traveling within the island. Immediately, the government intervened and extended the visas without any hassle. They were given accommodation options within hotels. The hotels came out and offered multiple options to stay and continue to stay within the island. So we have a proper system in place. Because like Nana mentioned earlier, we have been through quite a lot over the last few years, and we have kind of mastered how to handle difficult situations and have a team that works really, almost immediately to get everything back online and continue the operation. So very good BCP in place, business continuity plan in place, overall in Sri Lanka, also with the support of the government and in the integration of the private sector.
That's true.
And also across our institutions, I remember when Ditwa happened, the day after Ditwa, we were trying to figure out what's going on. I came in, I think it was like 3 in the morning. Nalaka with his team was there. We're trying to mobilize 4x4s to get people from affected areas. So again, I think with a large operation, a large integrated operation, we're able to deal with it, and we've been through. If there's anybody who knows how to deal with crisis, it's Sri Lanka.
That's true. Have you ever thought about the pilgrim packages for Gujarat? Because you have Ashok Vatika there and all beautiful.
Yes, we will continue to evolve these as things go. Of course, we have 2 sites which are on the Ramayana trail. Actually, we have 2 hotels, one in Trincomalee, one in Haburana, which is close to Ritigala, which is part of when Hanuman was carrying the part of the mountain and it fell, and the mountain is right next to it.
Sanjay Veni was there, and then that mountain is.
Yes. So absolutely. So I think beyond what we have packaged, Nalaka and Kamal and the teams will start curating more and more experiences that will appeal to the Gujarati traveler, and our expectation is to make that very intimate. As I mentioned, as Kamal mentioned when he spoke, one of the things, so this is the stuff we do for India and the stuff we do for Gujarat.
That's true.
We have spent time to try to understand Gujarat. We understand in Gujarat, you love your food. and you have very special requirements on food. So we have taken it upon us to really to be able to cater to that in a very, very specific way. So we're hiring Gujarati chefs, we're training all of our chefs across all of our hotels, so we know what you like, what your comfort food is, how to deal with it. So it's very, very special. We're trying to do something very special for this market.
So a week is enough to explore the Sri Lanka?
I think, yeah.
I think, so from a DMC point of view, we are very much open to see how we can curate something special. If there's a requirement, we can always put that together. And it's not a week. So if there is a requirement as such, based on the in and out days, we have a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday. It could be a Monday in and a Wednesday out of the following week. So it really doesn't have to be falling into a week or maybe 3 days. Based on the package and based on the flight days and the timings, we can sort of curate something nice and that will fit the requirement.
It kind of depends on the traveler. Like Kamal mentioned, if it's a quick weekend escape, Colombo is great. If it's, you really want to meditate and relax, yes, we can arrange that as well. So it really, I think within a week you can easily do 2-3 parts of the country, but you can probably do 3 of those and cover the whole country as well. So it really depends on the traveler. And again, that's why we've got this partnership between our sister companies in the group to be able to curate what the customer needs and to be able to offer. Sorry? Yeah, but our expectation, as I said, is to really bring Sri Lanka as a diverse, rich, culturally friendly destination to the Gujarat market. That is what we want to do, because we want to build this bridge to Gujarat, and we think that will form lots of person-to-person connections, business connections, commercial connections, and more cultural exchange between our two cultures. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all of you. Here we have to conclude the Q&A session. If you have, do we want to? Yes, we can take one question.
Will serve Gujarati food. Whether FitsAir will serve Gujarati food?
Not FitsAir, but within our...
Yeah, so within the airline, when you come to Colombo or any of our hotels, we will have Gujarati food and we will have Gujarati chefs who are catering to the clientele. So that's the plan. We will have that readily available from the 15th. We will have Gujarati chefs who will be training all our team members across the portfolio in cinnamon hotels and resorts. And also we will have, like I mentioned earlier, in every hotel we have a all-day dining restaurant where we offer buffets. So there we will have a Gujarati corner where we have Jain food, vegetarian food. The corner will be always available any time of the day.
Because many international flights, they are serving Jain food. Especially, that's why I am asking whether to
we can look at it. To be honest, we sort of, that was something, because the bigger chunk of the food experience will come through the hotels. But point taken, let's see what we can do. So I'm sure that we can look into it. Yes.